Helldivers 2 just got its first big matchmaking patch. We also have to go over some developer updates. We'll look into how Helldivers 2 has been faring with all the matchmaking issues, as well as some bugs related to server capacity, and a whole bunch more. What's up, World? Back in the video, touching on all things Helldivers 2. Okay, so let's jump into it. This is patch 1.000.10. Now, typically with the patch notes, they do have an opening statement. Sometimes these opening statements can vary from either platform from Discord or Steam. However, in this case, we do only have one through the Discord that is different than the rest. So first up, we do have the production director giving that opening statement here, where they say support is incoming. We have issued a patch for PC and PS5 players to address quick play functionality, platform authentication, and backend performance. That's mostly just an overview of the patch notes here. However, we do have the full list of patch notes here as well. So first up, they fixed a ton of crashes, like when replicating ragdoll momentum or replicating destructions, an additional crash when displaying mission and rewards. So if you were seeing any crashes or had any issues there, those should be a lot less now. There was also an issue on PC where they resolved a 100% block issue for quick play matchmaking, which if you had issues with the quick play matchmaking, as I have, sometimes it queues me up and sometimes it doesn't. Seems there was a major issue there on PC, so hopefully that is fixed, and I had a bunch of comments talking about it as well. And additionally, a ton of Reddit comments have also gone over this where they've just like infinitely queued for matchmaking. So hopefully the quick play stuff works now and you can just jump into games all that you want. They tuned extract civilian mission difficulty. We'll have to see what they mean by that. Hopefully they kind of made it easier to do those missions. I know they can be a little bit annoying to do those. They've also improved the way that they handle the platform authentication to avoid things like black screen issues at startup. So the whole black screen issue, if you are jumping into a game and you're having that issue, which there's also a Reddit post on that. Essentially here we've had a big Reddit post that PSA the black screen bug relates to the server being at capacity. Now this is from a QA developer who went on to basically disclose that the server was at capacity, so if you are experiencing that bug or the black screen bug, basically the server's been at capacity and not allowing you to log in. However, now seemingly that is fixed, or it won't let you actually log into the game. We'll have to see how that works there with that, or if the queue skip from my last video still works. They also made improvements to our client, to the back-end communication for better back-end performance. They implemented an automatic retry mechanism to quick play, which seems like maybe people were queuing for quick play and then it wasn't actually queuing up after a certain period of time. They also added a proper login error message for error 1000-2038. Now there are some additional known issues. These are issues that either introduced by this patch and are being worked on, or they're still from a previous version and have not been fixed yet. So the login rate limiting when many are logging in at the same time. So there still will be some limiting there as far as players getting into the game. Players can become disconnected during play. So that still will happen, unfortunately, that there will be some disconnects with their servers. Rewards and other progress may be delayed or not attributed at all, which definitely is a major issue there, but I do think it pertains to maybe loading back to the main menu when you are completing a mission, which I have had happen before where we couldn't get back out of that screen where you kind of like the end screen after you completed the mission, and then the players that had to leave in order for it to reconnect did not get the rewards. And they also didn't get the samples or the XP or anything from that actual mission itself. So that is a bit unfortunate. It's still not fixed there, but we'll have to see on the coming weeks if that does get fixed. They have some various UI issues that may appear when the game interacts with servers. A pickup of certain objects in-game may cause characters to freeze in place for an extended period of time. However, it seems like you'll be able to move after that certain period of time. Other unknown behaviors may occur, which is definitely a pretty broad statement there. The Japanese voice acting is missing from the intro cutscene and Chip TV, so hopefully they do get those in place sometime soon. The armor values for light, medium, and heavy armor do not currently function as intended, which is a little wild to hear, as I don't know what they mean by that. If the light armor or medium armor, if they're not functioning as intended, what are those armor values actually doing currently? Is light providing the bonuses without the negatives? However, as someone that uses light armor, I will say medium armor does feel a bit better with armor strength, but maybe it's more so than it should be, or even less so. I wish they would have clarified that, but obviously it might be exploitable there. Maybe I'll work on some tests and figure out how light, medium, and heavy armor are functioning, because that's quite a major issue, and we do kind of need to know on what side of the ends those armor values are functioning as it might not be worth to take light armor, or it might be very, very worth to take light armor if it's not applying the right armor value. Now, PS5 players may still be unable to use quick play, so they have fixed that for PC, but PS5 players are still going to have issues with quick play. Super unfortunate to hear that another platform is receiving those issues. Hopefully that does get fixed in the next coming days here. Definitely glad it's working for PC, but a bit of bias there, and I do hope that PS5 players do get that quick play working and fixed. Now, we do have some unfortunate news with Helldivers now at mixed reviews on Steam. However, most of the reviews are citing server issues and bugs such as crashing after a mission. As another commenter here on Reddit said, this game is cool, but they're not lying. People are being honest about the experience. I had a 3-day weekend and barely was able to play. Meanwhile, wasted a good 10 hours trying to get into the game. Now in my last video, I actually do cover technically a queue skip. If you want to check that out, essentially you just have to join a friend and hopefully it gets you into the game. It doesn't work every single time and it is a bit random, but it does kind of help with that there. Now as far as the mixed reviews affecting the player base, can't really tell at the moment currently if it will affect the player base and the longevity. We have dropped off a tiny bit with the concurrent player count. However, this is obviously due in part to no longer being a weekend, as well as being too early in the day and a patch just dropping to actually tell what's going on there. We'll have to wait and see on how it does fare in the long run. Overall though, that should about cover for today's video. If you like, subscribe, and until next, deuces.